The next step for Classic. Let's see it.
Indeed, at BlizzCon 2023, World of Warcraft Classic's second seasonal server was announced, the Season of Discovery.
Nice.
Releasing very soon on November 30th, this new season will be aiming to reshape the established meta of vanilla throughout.
The best part about Season of Discovery is the fact that we don't have to wait a year for it. It's here. It's almost here. 19 days away. I'm excited and I can't hide it.
Adding in tons of new abilities to the game, some of which you'll recognize from later expansions, some of which are totally new to the game. And
Yeah.
I am hyped for this. We even heard the words at BlizzCon, it's all of Classic with a plus. And honestly, this is the first real step with intent towards Classic Plus. The only thing that separates this from a true Classic Plus launch for me is that it is a seasonal server, and season means there is a start date and an end date. And well, MMOs are—
I actually like that. I like that a lot. I like seasonal things. I like Patafixel seasonal things. Diablo 4 is even not that bad with seasonal things. You know, as long as they don't just fully delete everything from the last season and then a new season comes in, I'm kind of happy with it because Classic is about the journey a lot. It's not only about the finish. And now our journey, especially with Season of Mastery, is going to be better, more interesting. They're level gating us. That's gonna be lit. That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be really good.
aren't really supposed to have end dates. They are persistent online worlds by their very nature. Still, what this does give Blizzard a chance to do, as we are going to talk more about later, is experiment, take risks, and try something new and see how the players react. This is exactly what seasonal servers in World of Warcraft should be doing, changing things. Not just adding small, timid changes, but overhauling the game, adding features that players will have to figure out, and just giving people who love Classic something to get really excited about once again. Because at the end of the day, it is seasonal. And for that reason, I'm way more willing to just see what can be done in Classic WoW, what players will like and what they won't like. When we play this server, it will more or less be the Classic Plus beta, or maybe even an alpha instead, but this approach is a huge win for everyone.
I think that's kind of slightly undermining it, as strange as that sounds for a Blizzard game. I think this is pretty good. I think this already is like Classic Plus, because what did you expect in Classic Plus? What do you want from Classic Plus? A new continent? No, that would not be Classic Plus. Classic Plus is supposed to be the continuation of Classic, with new things slowly added to it. The game slightly changing, but still feeling like Classic. So, changes like this is honestly more than I expected in the actual Classic Plus. So I am not disappointed in the slightest, honestly, about this.
Just make sure you do give feedback on it. So this exists right now, as in Season of Discovery, because enough people over time have said, hey, what would Classic look like if classes changed or they did try to rebalance things?
Priest is going to be absolutely beastly for leveling up, because you have the, well, what's it called? Dissolvance, dissonance, something. You know, the thing that hits 3 times. Dude, that thing is gonna make priests into leveling machines. Shamans have dual wielding, more classes can tank, amazing. Mages can heal in the most rudimentary and unbelievable way, but that's a different story, I guess. It looks good. It looks good. Imagine, you not having to wait 15 years for a tank, because guess what? Your class can also tank. Now it's going to be harder to find DPS.
Maybe it's too far changes-wise, and that is fine. There will be lessons taken from Season of Discovery either way, but taking a bold step forwards towards the future of Classic is something I am so excited to see. So, how is this whole Discovery thing going to work then? What will this server look like? Well, the only real information we got was from BlizzCon and the playtests at BlizzCon. Blizzard will not be holding any public betas for Season of Discovery, because they want the players to discover things together when they—
Okay, The ironic thing about the season of discovery and making people discover things, you know how you're gonna get the new affixes, whatever you want to call them, affixes, upgrades, talents, slots, or whatever. You're gonna have to do quests, special quests, and that's gonna be dumb. Okay, I don't want to go through a puzzle to actually unlock the ability to dual wield with a shaman, because shamans are actually kind of looking pretty cool, not gonna lie. Okay, but I don't like that. I don't like that idea. I think it's boring. I think it's dumb. I want there to be an exclamation mark where I get that upgrade, or even better yet, it's just automatically given to me. I don't want to do some kind of convoluted, stupid quest to unlock the new stuff. That's not what Season of Mastery or Season of Classic Plus is about. It's about just experiencing new things, not having to do a puzzle. Now, admittedly, the good part is this is going to be only a problem for the very, very, very hardcore players. Because chances are, well, you get to that level where you get your first upgrade or whatever, there's going to be like 200 people who have already rushed it, so you're going to know exactly where to go, exactly what to do to get all of that stuff. And that's going to be good. I like it. I like it. I don't want to do puzzles in World of Warcraft, Blizzard. Stop.
Start playing the game. Of course, once something is known online, information gets passed around incredibly fast nowadays. That's not something anyone can stop from happening, but Blizzard not holding a beta is probably the best way to ensure that players will have something to discover when they log in. It won't just be new abilities or spell interactions either. One of the key features of Season of Discovery are rune engravings. Players will get their first quest for a rune just after having started their character. There are currently 3 engraving slots: your chest, leg and gloves, with each class having 4 to 5 known runes per slot currently. Blizzard themselves have said there are over 100 runes total, and that there will be more added as we progress into the season. These runes can be swapped anytime,
which is great, by the way,
you like, and will be applied in a very similar fashion to how you apply glyphs in Cataclysm.
Dude, look at this garbage. Seal of Martyrdom, Divine Storm. I think this is from a private server or something. No, wait, this is original. Yeah, Divine Storm, Seal of Martyrdom. And they also have Crusader Strike for Paladins. Yo, Paladins are gonna deal damage finally. Not good damage probably still, but damage! Imagine that, that's so lame. Paladins should be forever wearing dresses.
In that you'll learn your rune, and then you can just...
I'm a classic Andy through and through. If my Paladin is not wearing a dress... He's not in the group. He's not in the guild. He's kicked. Someone go to the deep net and hire someone.
Apply it from a new interface. These runes may vary from abilities which will be familiar to us, such as...
Also, considering every rune is gonna have like a quest, puzzle, or some stupid shit attached to it, imagine you having to do it 20 times. It's gonna get so annoying and boring.
Ice Lance for mages, or penance for priests.
Yeah, this is what I mean, penance. This thing is gonna just... Man. Priests are gonna level so fast. Because previously, priests just wanded, but penance is actually gonna be good damage without wanding. You know? Do you know how do you level up for the priest, by the way? So you have this stupid talent point in the shadow tree. Whenever you kill something that yields experience or honor, you get a 100% increase in spirit recovery, and you can keep on recovering, I think, while in combat also even. Yeah, that thing. That thing makes it so that you literally never have to heal or stop. Priests can non-stop just attack, but they didn't have any kind of big thing that actually deals damage to them to things efficiently, except Shadow Word Pain slightly, and, well, your wand. This is gonna escalate priest leveling probably hugely because it's a relatively slight cooldown skill, which means again it deals decent damage if you choose to The priests are gonna level like there's no tomorrow.
The things which are totally new, such as druids being able to access Wind Fury, or Warlock's Metamorphosis
Wait,
now
Wind
being
Fury
a
on druids? What do you mean?
tanking stance. Oh, and on top of that, rogues can tank, and
Yeah.
shamans can tank, and paladins can tank. I mean, some of
I mean, paladins shouldn't be able to tank, let's be real. They're healers.
them already could technically tank, but they can really tank now. Surely if half the classes in the game can tank,
I usually, by the way, play rogue. But I'm not gonna lie, boys, okay? Shaman with the dual wielding currently seems like pretty lit, not gonna lie.
we won't be short on tanks still, right? Blizzard are also considering reductions to respec costs as well as dual specialization. No final word on that at the moment, but I think it makes sense given the theme of the
Dual specialization would be amazing.
season. So these runes are going to be a big deal, but here's the thing, we don't know how to get them at all. They will be, you guessed it, discovered through gameplay. Maybe one is hidden up a mountain.
And everyone's gonna hate that mechanic without question. I can guarantee you it. You will not like this mechanic. You will at some point just want that stuff to be given to you, and the novelty of once you need to act, go on Wowhead and look for the answers for it is not gonna be in your brain. People are gonna hate this part.
In a chest somewhere, or dropped from a dungeon boss, or a reward from a long quest chain. In fact, this system is somewhat reminiscent of the Legion artifact hidden weapon appearance.
Now, the good part is obviously most of them are going to be just dungeon rewards and random probably chests scattered, because 100 glyphs just to start. Yeah, there's no quests associated with that shit, okay? Imagine making 100 new quests in this game just so you can farm runes. No, that's not happening. Most of them are gonna be chest and dungeon drops.
Appearances.
I would imagine only the things that Blizzard thinks people are gonna care the absolute most are gonna be quests. And even then, they're gonna probably be like super small.
And if you played that expansion, some of them were practically free in that you just went and farmed a rare mob. Others were quite difficult or complicated, and I think that will also be the case here. I should also mention Season of Discovery will feature a phased leveling release. This is another totally new step for World of Warcraft,
What does
with
that mean?
inspiration coming from capping players during the beta versions of previous games, and seeing how a meta evolved around more limited talent or quest choices. For Season of Discovery, at first we will be capped at level 25. There is currently no confirmed time duration for each phase, other than
These level caps are also going to be dual purposed. One, it gives us end game at early game, which is cool because, you know, there's going to be a raid. Like, this is great. This is going to split the game like in probably 3 sections most likely. I don't know. The second level cap is going to be, in my opinion, probably around 40 or 45, you know? This is going to be great. This is going to even, by the way, increase more content of what you can get, because your first thing is going to be get level 25 and then start raiding, which is cool. Imagine, level 25 raiding. Everything changes so much. That's going to be absolutely amazing. And also, this is going to give feedback for Blizzard, so they can actually know what they need to improve on the next level cap release. Okay, to like 40 or 45 or maybe 50, depending on how big it's going to be. And Blizzard is going to fix the game accordingly to what we didn't like here or did like. It's going to be great.
over 1 month and probably under 3 or 4. I think they're just going to feel it out and see what's right though. I would suspect the lower level brackets won't last as long because there will be people at level 25 within a few hours, and even more casual players.
Yeah, that's not probably happening. It's still classic leveling. So getting level 25 is probably going to take roughly 2 weeks for most people.
Will be more than capable of hitting this level cap without a huge time investment. I mean,
yeah, the people who are gonna play hardcore this and use some kind of dumb add-on that tells you, well, you now need to do this, this, and this, you know, those people are gonna be level cap probably in like 3 days. Let's be completely honest. But everyone else is probably gonna be level 25 in like a week tops. I think it's gonna take 2 weeks for most people to hit level 25, or maybe even 3, okay? Let's be absolutely real here. Okay? People don't level that fast. And I know the meta about how you play World of Warcraft is perceived to be, oh, you download this add-on, it literally, tells you where to take step by step for the optimal route and stuff. That's not actually World of Warcraft for most people. That is by far not World of Warcraft for the majority of people. The reality, it's World of Warcraft for the people who are streamers and content creators. Okay? Because for them, it does matter. And considering everyone who does content about this game, streams or whatever, they're really, really dedicated to this game. And, well, they care about that stuff. Most people are not gonna use some kind of dumb add-on that tells them, okay, you do this one quest here, then you do this quest in the other zone. No. They're not gonna do that. They're just gonna use the add-ons that highlight every quest available, and bam, they're just gonna go and do random things as they want. That's how it's gonna be.
With how popular hardcore has been, we are all pretty familiar with our starting zones by now, right? At level 25, players will have runes and engravings to discover, as well as a revamped Black Fathoms Deep, which will serve as the season's first piece of raiding content. The FD will be a 10-player raid, with up.
This dungeon is not bad, but its dreary, gloomy, shitty look honestly gives me depression.
Dated mechanics, and will also have brand new drops for players to map out and see how far they can push their character during this early bracket. On top of that, at the end of BFD, there will be a new world buff, which is expected to be a revamped version of the pre-existing Blessing of Black Fathom, but we need to wait and see what that ends up being.
I don't want world buffs. Okay, I actually want world buffs, but I don't want world buffs also. Because world buffs are kind of cool in the fact that you're all sitting there in the main city, and after it's happening, all of you start to get teleported. You go and ride to some kind of place to do some kind of raid. That's cool. That is cool when the world when the buff drops. But the buffs themselves existing in the first place, it feels kind of just shitty. I'm not gonna lie. The fact that you need them and you need to waste time farming them and whatnot, I think that's an absolute L. I think they should be nerfed by, I don't know, like 75%. Because let's face it, even the old boomers that have 15 kids, 3 divorced wives, and, you know, a boy toy lover, can probably do this game pretty easily without world buffs. Okay, even they can probably do it pretty easily without world buffs. So, I think world buffs should be nerfed. So, if the hardcore spaz losers want to get a world buff and, you know, be 20% more strong than everyone else, go ahead, be my guest. But I don't think that's necessary.
Also be an open world event in Ashenvale. This will consist of both PvP and PvE objectives, kind of in a similar vein to how Alterac Valley works. It will reward players both for PvPing as well as defeating PvE objectives. There will also be different tiers of rewards based on your participation. You will also gain reputation with
shamans are gonna be absolutely dominating that shit. Because I'll tell you this. Shamans will have the ability to flame shock something, and then, because something is flame shocked, it's gonna receive 100% of the healing as damage. And you know what's the highest critting thing in the game at low levels? It's healing. You know what's the base default most damaging thing in the game? Healing. If it could be turned into damage. And now shamans are gonna have the ability to do that. Dude, I can literally see shaman players getting the flame shock thing, flame shocking something, and then just getting full spirit gear and just healing themselves constantly, and that is gonna be their fastest way of leveling. I can see that happening. I can very much see that happening. Because you need just one crit to be from 5% life to more than 100 with a shaman. So yeah, one lucky crit heal is gonna kill someone in these battlegrounds. Shamans are gonna absolutely slay people there. Their biggest weakness is gonna be the fact that Flame Shock has a cooldown. That is gonna be unironically the biggest weakness shamans have.
With your Warsong Gulch faction by doing this event, and your Warsong rep vendor will now have new items to sell, including low-level mounts which will work specifically inside of Ashenvale. Warsong Gulch will be enabled.
It's stupid that only in Ashenvale, like, this is lame.
Two with a 10 to 19 bracket and a 20 to 25 bracket. The PvP ranking system will also be enabled, but it will not be possible to grind rank 14 early on, as certain PvP ranks require certain combat levels to achieve. Winning this event will award an on-use world buff, which you can keep in your bags and use later. I'm thinking some kind of Horn of Victory type thing, which gives everyone in your party or raid some stats. So that's already 2 new world buffs by level 25 then. I wonder if you can stack everything at 60 and if there'll be more introduced later. Speaking of the later levels though, at some point we will be able to go beyond level 25. The next level cap and essentially phase 2 of this season will be level
40, then 50? Wow. Well, I guess 40 does make sense because 40 is Zul, Farak, and a lot of other places. 50 is Sunken Temple available 50? I don't know even. You know, 50 is also a bunch of interesting dungeons and places like that. So I guess you can split this pretty efficiently, but I'm surprised. Wow.
40. This should be so exciting for Season of Discovery. Hitting those end of talent tree abilities alongside the changes should make for some explosive gameplay. Following that, the next level cap will be 50, and the final one of course being 60. So expect 3 big content phases of Discovery before 60. And even at 60, tons of things will be different. No more warriors dominating the DPS meters. I mean, probably. It would be funny if they were still the best though, to be honest. At BlizzCon, they also teased several...
Are they gonna be? I haven't checked what warriors have because dude, you're playing a fantasy game and you're gonna play a human warrior. I mean, tell me you're a loser without telling me you're a loser. Okay, loser? Yeah. I don't know. I don't think warriors are gonna be at the top. Again, I'm currently looking towards shamans because, man, dual wield with something more than just an auto attack is insane. Maybe paladins are actually legit gonna be overstacked because, well, okay, paladins already did not do that much damage, but they're getting the most overpowered thing out of you know, Burning Crusade. The Blood Elf seal and 2 additional attacks. That's gonna be huge. Okay. The reality is, paladins already could actually like do reasonably well in the damage charts, as far as I understand, because I'm a horde player. If they just got a little bit lucky, you know, they're not gonna top it, but you know, they had a pretty decent chance to be around the mid level, and now that they have actual damage on top, I mean that's kind of insane. Okay, and shamans are the same thing, like. The reality is, shamans actually could top the DPS meter pretty reliably. Well, not reliably, but at least at the start of the encounter. If they just got Wind Fury procs. Okay? Shamans could be visible on the DPS meter if they got the lucky Wind Fury procs. But now they're also gonna have, you know, actual things that, you know, are not just based on auto-attacking, which is gonna be insane.
Images for later raiding content. First of all, an Alarma bot, which of course makes you think of Gnomeregan. This place is definitely big enough to already be considered a raid. Secondly, of course, the unmistakable Scarlet Monastery, another legendary set of dungeons that could very much be
legendary, true, but I mean, Scarlet Monastery is, in my opinion, as boring as it comes.
Raids later on. And finally, a piece of content from vanilla that was never used in its original state. The Karazhan Crypts. You can see in the image they show the zone text for the Pauper's Walk. This is a very deliberate inclusion to put all doubts beyond reason here. This subzone itself is just beyond the entrance to the crypts. The crypts themselves are an expansive set of tunnels and towering rooms below the Dead Wind
Dude, this place is actually huge. Kinda insane.
Pass, including many gateways, piles of bones, flooded rooms, and much more. So not only are there class changes for Season of Discovery, Blizzard are also saying, hey, we're gonna try out some new content as well. And if you add together Blizzard trying new drop tables from dungeons and raids with the potential for entirely new content, we may just be seeing new tier sets, or at least tier set bonuses designed specifically for the newer class roles that will exist in the season. In an interview when asked about this possibility, Blizzard said, I think that that's on the table. Sounds pretty good to me. Also, Blackrock Depths, that has to be a raid when we get there, right? Level 50 bracket, maybe? Either way, there is so much to be excited
Well, let's be real. Probably. What else, right?
about here. Class updates, no PTR testing, discovering the changes in real time, level brackets so we can explore the endgame in different ways, dungeon updates, new loot, the prospect of new raiding content, new open world events. And this is all coming out on the 30th of November, can I just remind you. So, are there any concerns for this season and the direction that it's taking? I think the biggest one I can see at the moment will be faction balance. So, Alliance tends to be the more played faction in vanilla. We saw this very recently with the hardcore realms. The reason being is mostly for performance in PvE at endgame. Now, this should not be much of a consideration when we're
It's just bubbles? Really now?
capped to level 25, but it still will be. For PvE, more players means more guilds, more groups, and just better access to the content. And for PvP, I mean, if you didn't play Vanilla Classic and see Phase 2 of the game when we had Honor and Ranking with no Battlegrounds, it wasn't pretty. Blizzard had to bring out Battlegrounds early to put a stop to it. There is being the underdog faction, which is attractive and can be fun, but at some point you just get farmed and you can't play.
No. Yeah, well, it's true. It is fun for a while. And then after it's like, okay, what now? Nothing. You just stop playing because you're the underdog faction that gets destroyed.
Play the game. Also, Alliance now has access to Wind Fury, Tremor Totem, and a combined version of Strength of Earth and Grace of Air totems. Horde has not got Salvation or Kings yet, and the yet is important because they very well might do later on, but right now
Is Hell and the Salvation actually that important? I'm pretty sure it's just Blessing of Might and Kings that matters.
they don't. We also don't know the number of realms that will be available or how many of each type of realm there will be. And this is legitimately a scary prospect for Blizzard, because the Season of Discovery servers are going to absolutely blow up in population on launch. This will be bigger than Hardcore, I guarantee it. So
Hardcore was shit, probably. Dude, Classic Plus is gonna be the same situation as when Classic first came out, essentially. Dude, when every starting zone was full with people, and I skipped lines because, that's how you do it.
basically, if you roll on a PvP...
Well, I was playing Horde. Bruh, the Horde doesn't make lines, okay? Everyone just stands around the NPC and then just tries to click on him. It was great.
server, you better like PvP and understand that vanilla PvP is not very fair and not very balanced. I need to give you a really big warning on this. Understand what you're getting yourself into, especially if you are Horde. Next thing to talk about is, of course, class balance. Blizzard have said if there are things that trivialize the game and make it not fun to play, absolutely will want to go in and do some balancing. Now, Classic as a game itself is not balanced. Mages can pull 500 mobs at once, rogues can CC you for over a minute, and warriors are the best DPS and tank by a huge margin. But we all kinda know what's good and what's bad in vanilla. We accept it because that is just the state of the game. Season of Discovery will be changing this balance to an unknown state. And I think once we start understanding the runes and the possible combinations, everyone is going to start feeling pretty overpowered. For example, here's a scenario which I've thought up for the level 25 bracket. So in vanilla, Shadow Meld has a 10-second cooldown. So a Night Elf Hunter with sniper training and Lone Wolf can Shadow Meld and wait for somebody to run in front of them, and then aim shot them into a Chimera or Explosive, and they're probably going to one-shot them if everything crits. It's going to be some great Night Elf roleplay, protecting Ashenvale from the shadows, the Horde never knowing when you'll strike. Or it could
Roleplay?
just be incredibly obnoxious. Who knows? Someone's going to try it out though. But with the average power level of players going up by a lot, it may be the case that open world content and leveling pacing of the game starts to feel more like TBC or even Wrath. These abilities are very impactful. We haven't seen how they're tuned yet, but this could be a big step towards just powering through content like it's nothing. I think this—
Oh yeah, it's gonna probably happen, let's be real, okay? Again, Paladin example. You previously had only an auto attack to work with, now you have 2 skills. Bruh, you're gonna zoom through the content.
This is okay at endgame when you're stacked up with world buffs, but that leveling stage and feeling as though your character is growing and not always super overpowered is an important aspect of vanilla. And whilst doing the video, I found that Blizzard had answered this concern. They say they're planning to make enemies hit harder, more so than just buffing the health values of everyone to accommodate. With this, the world should still feel dangerous, and you won't just be able to run around and AoE everything down. This means the fire pillagers are getting a buff. I can't wait to see how that plays out. Moving on though, I would also prefer if faction-specific things stayed that way. It feels as though Blizzard have to give Horde Salvation Kings a might now. You might as well just lock in those runes for the level 40 bracket for Shaman. People pick their faction for a whole host of reasons, but vanilla is the only time you got access to unique class synergies. I think that should be kept as it is to create diversity and encourage players to try the other faction at some point in time. I mean, come on, why would you go Horde as a melee player unless you are a die-hard Horde fan? If you play Alliance, you get Kings, Salvation, Strength of Earth, and Grace of Air totems combined, and Wind Fury. That's crazy. For me, there are also a few too many—
Wait, what? You get Wind Fury as an alliance?
abilities from future expansions on offer here, but I'm willing to cut Blizzard some slack on this as it is a seasonal server and they won't have had forever to develop entirely new content for every class. Also, I suppose that a bunch of these abilities from future expansions will be new to a sizable portion of the players who just didn't play the game when they were out. But abilities such as Lava Burst, Divine Storm, Chaos Bolt for example, I don't know Blizz, I think that's gonna be pretty hard to balance.
Yeah, Chaos Bolt has been typically hard to balance, that's true.
Nevertheless, and with these concerns, I am very excited to dive into Season of Discovery on November 30th. I can't believe it's coming so soon. I mean, many of us expected—
Again, that's the best part, the fact that it's actually coming soon. It's not like a cock tease.
to hear about a season at BlizzCon, but this is coming up very fast. It will also give us an entirely unknown meta for the game, which is so exciting to see. Class-related videos are my favourite ones to make, and I only really get to do them once per expansion usually, so I do plan to cover each class's updates in follow-up content. Of course, a ton of information here is still unknown. There will always be stuff to discover, such as what the future runes will be, how they're acquired, all of that stuff. Blizzard did decide to provide quite a sizable amount of information at BlizzCon though, and once information is out there on the internet, you can't take it back. There were lists of every rune online before BlizzCon had finished, and there will be an add-on or something
Healer Mage. I don't think Healer Mage is gonna work out.
telling you how to get every rune. Not
Or maybe it will, it's hard to tell, but man, Healer Mage sounds just wrong.
long after the server's alive. Just enjoy the game for what it is while it's fresh. It's gonna be a good time either way.
Arcane Blast combo. Arcane Mage is gonna also exist, that's gonna be pretty cool.
Information spreads fast, it is what it is. But I will at least cover the runes that we know at the moment, what kind of builds they may fit into, how impactful they will be, whether they are entirely new or from a later expansion, all that good stuff. Theory crafting for me really is half the fun, and rarely in Classic do you get a chance to do it, so look forward to those videos soon. That's about everything I wanted to say for Season of Discovery. I just want to cover a few more bits of general news now, in case you've missed them over the BlizzCon weekend. Self-bound Hardcore mode has been confirmed to release early 2024.
Wow. Yeah, okay, those are really not interesting news. Anyway, Will E. This was Quizzer Citizen. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.